Hello and welcome to Lean and Clean with Fitness Chef Christine. I am Christine, your host, and today we're going to be talking about some quick lunches to get all that fuel in there and to make sure that you can go. If you are new here, I welcome you. Please subscribe. I am on here at least twice a week, if not more, and I love to share my passion for good food and fueling your body. So make sure that you hydrate, your fuel, and you move as much as you can. All right, my loves, we're going to start out with sauteing some vegetables. Because if you're new here, the more vegetables you can get in, the better you are. All right, we're gonna put it on medium heat. We're gonna start with our mushrooms. I've got some sliced shiitake mushrooms. I took a little shortcut today and got some sliced ones. We're gonna go ahead and put those in there. Give them a dash of kosher salt. And we'll just let them sit until they start releasing some of that liquid. And then we're gonna go ahead and saute it. Again, I took a shortcut because we're trying to be quick here today with some sliced peppers. Those are gonna all be dual purpose. That will help us make a couple lunches or even a breakfast depending on what you like. All right, so we're gonna keep on trucking. While those things do their thing, we're gonna move over here and work on some fruit salsa. Let's see if I can get this thing adjusted here. Here we go. And so I've got in here, I used some frozen mango that I cut up into cubes, and then I got some awesome strawberries from the market. I want you to take a look at the color of these strawberries. They're really dark. That's how you know they're really great. They're homegrown strawberries from our local farmers. If you don't know, I live out in the country. I oftentimes have some great produce. It's all grown locally. So we're just gonna give those a nice rough chop. About 3 or 4 strawberries should do it. We're just trying to get a little sweetness in with our savory. And these are gonna be paired up with some shrimp, which you can do as a wrap or you can do just shrimp and the fruit salsa. Either way works well. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in there. And then we're gonna take a little bit of this avocado and you're just gonna poke that knife in and then circle around. I'm sure most of you, that's nothing new. We're just gonna open that up. And when you're looking at avocados, I want you to look right here at the pit end. And if you open it up, it should be nice and green. And then you'll know that your avocado is nice and green. We're just gonna go ahead and cube that up. So we're just gonna make our little verticals here. And then we'll scoop it on out. And we'll get some lime juice in there. I think I have limes. Take a look here in a second. Get all of that out there. We're just gonna use half of it for that. And we're gonna get some onion in there. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut that in half. And peel that extra out of there. We got our little garbage bowl over here. And then we're gonna just make some cuts here and we're gonna do a chunky dice on that, about the same as what the fruits are at. We'll go ahead and add that in. I love a little bit of onion in there. And then, because I could not find any jalapeno peppers at my local store, I don't have the best stores around, so we have to make do with what we can get. I've got some Rotel, so we're just gonna use about a spoonful of that. It's gonna give us a little bit of tomatoey flavor and a little bit of spice. We'll go ahead and add that in. And like I said, you'll find our lime. Let's see if we can add some limes in here. Some lime. Maybe not, maybe no lime. All right, a little bit of lemon juice, that'll work. We just need some acidity here. Sometimes you just gotta go with what you got, right? So that's what we do. A little bit of lemon juice. We're just gonna sprinkle that over there. And then we'll give that a little mix. I'm gonna add a little bit of pinch of salt to that. Bring out all those flavors and some pepper. See if I can find my pepper here. Here we go. And then we'll give it a little taste and adjust as we need to. Obviously, once we let it sit for a little bit, the flavor is gonna marry up a little better. But we can get at least an initial taste. All right, so let's get a little bit of that avocado, a little bit of that strawberry, a little bit of onion, not quite that much. That'll work nicely. Okay, so we're gonna let that set and do its thing. We're gonna take a look at these mushrooms. I'm gonna swing us back over here. You know my high-tech setup. Not really. All right, so let's get those mushrooms jumping around in that pan there. And now, we're gonna go ahead and add our peppers in. If you see that some of these peppers are a little on the chunky side, go ahead and adjust them a little more of a, that didn't save us quite as much time as I had hoped because some of them are just a little too chunky, but that's okay. It gets us started. And they were on sale this way, so save a little bit of money. Always a good thing. So I'll just keep adding them in there. The yellow pepper's a little smaller. So I can do this one. And maybe you don't mind if they're chunky. Once they cook down, it doesn't really matter. Good, good. We'll let those do their thing. We'll add a little bit of onion to that. So we're going to slice this onion up over here. And put that in there. And give it a little bit of a toss. And let it do its thing. Then I've got a kettle of water here. And we're going to bring it up to a boil. And we're going to drop our shrimp into it. Our shrimp that goes with our fruit salsa. And some of these veggies. Tongs. I love tongs. It makes stirring it up really nice. Get all that mixed in there. Again, our goal is to have high protein and lots of vegetables. We want a lot of flavor too, so want to make sure that we're not skimping out on flavor. That flavor can come in the form of some seasoning salt, so that's what I'm going to hit with right now. Some spice, you can put a little bit of cayenne pepper or some jalapeno in there. But the idea is that we're adding flavor so that when we eat, we're super satiated. And it's delicious, because nobody wants to eat bland food, right? We want to eat this that really we look forward to eating. So if we can do that and make healthy options, we're that much better. All right. So over here, I've got my shrimp. And when that comes to a boil, I have it just sitting in some salt water. That takes away that fishy flavor. Even when you get it super fresh, sometimes you get that fishy flavor when it's just sitting there being ready to sold. So I like to put it in there in the salt brine for a little bit before I go ahead and drop it in. We're going to add some seasoning into our water. Then we'll add some seasoning. And normally I use Old Bay seasoning. I don't have any, so we're just going to use a little bit of seasoning salt. Unprepared. And for my friends that are watching on Apple Podcasts or listening on Apple Podcasts rather and Spotify, you may want to jump over to my YouTube channel. I'll leave the links below in the show notes so that you can watch us cook this. Not necessary, but it does make it a little easier for visual people. All right, we're almost at a boil here. And then we're going to move this aside. Clean up a little bit as I go. All right. So when we eat the rainbow, we make sure that we get all the nutrients in there. It's such a pretty presentation. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get the cover for this, the lid, so that it can finish cooking faster. We'll get the vegetables sweated out. We'll cover this and make it go a little faster. All right, so what we're doing, I'll just let you know what we're doing. First of all, we're going to make a shrimp wrap with some veggies and some avocado and some of that fruit salsa. And then we're going to make an egg wrap with some of the other veggies in there, because that's a very reasonably cost item, something that everybody can afford, and sometimes we just need affordable, healthy foods, right? So we're gonna do that. The leftover shrimp will be for a shrimp bowl another day, so we'll use that up because you don't need all that shrimp for just one wrap. And then we'll see what else we're gonna make. I have to think about it for a minute. So we're going to continue cooking that, and I'll show you what that looks like in a bit. We're ready to drop our shrimp into the boiling water, so we're going to do that. Now be prepared, it's going to be quick. So we want to have our strainer all set up so that we can strain it out. And you want to do it just when it starts to turn pink, because you don't want to overcook your shrimp, and we want to be able to stop the cooking immediately. All right, so we're just going to get that all in there. last few little stragglers. Bring that back up to a boil. And then we're going to turn it out. And while we're waiting for that to do its thing, our veggies are done. We're going to go ahead and move all this stuff out of the way. And we're going to get us some plastic wrap. So while I was waiting for those veggies to do their thing, I remembered what the other thing I was going to do, which is a black bean wrap. We're going to get our plastic wrap all situated here, maybe. There we go. Sometimes things work better than others. That's the way it goes when you're recording. I got me some broccoli sprouts. These are awesome. At the farmer's market this week, they had all different sprouts, and I got some broccoli sprouts. I love the crunch, and I love how delicious they are. I'm gonna move this over just a bit. And that's what we're gonna help our wrap with. Okay, here I've got a carb counter tortilla. You can use whatever kind you like. I happen to like them because they're soft. I'm not normally big on things that are processed, but I don't have a lot of tortillas, so a little bit's gonna go a long way. I got canned black beans that I drained and rinsed, and to that I'm gonna add a sprinkle of nutritional yeast. Again, we're trying to bump up that protein and keep our health in mind. We're gonna add a squirt of that lemon. Give that a good mix. Now you can make this your own. No, you can make it with anything that you like. This is just what I like, so you can pick what you like. I'm gonna go ahead and put some of that avocado in there. We're just gonna take a scoop of it and mash it right down. Kind of scoop it out. About a quarter of an avocado. Although avocado is good for you, it does have a little bit on the caloric side, so we want to keep that, be mindful of that. I'm going to take some of these black beans in here, and then we're going to add some of these broccoli sprouts across the top there. And then we're going to add a little bit of feta cheese. If you're vegan, obviously you can leave it out, no big deal. Keeping an eye on their shrimp. All right, just a little sprinkle, about a tablespoon or so. And then we're gonna add some shredded lettuce. I did a big event the other day, so I have a ton of shredded lettuce to use up. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna fold in the sides, fold it here, and keep on tucking it in so it's nice and tight. And there we go. And the reason I put the plastic wrap there is so that I can just roll it right up, and then there's no mess. That's what I like. All right, so we're gonna set that aside. We're gonna give the shrimp a little stir, and then we're gonna take them out and see how they're doing. Yeah, we're just starting to get pink there. So turn that off. I'm gonna go drain it, and I'll be back. Our shrimp are done, and they're cooled off because I ran them under some cold ice water. And now we're gonna make a little bit of a dressing. So we want 2 parts of good olive oil. We don't need a lot of this. And 1 part of white wine vinegar. And we're gonna add some pepper. If I can figure out where I put my pepper, there it is. I like a good amount of pepper. And some salt. Now the reason I like this is it gives the shrimp a little bit of a briny flavor to it, which I think is terrific. We're just gonna give that a good shake. We're just gonna pour that on over. Now we can use this for our wraps, or we can use it for our bowls, or however you want to use it. It's very versatile. On my tongs here. We're just gonna get that all mixed in there. I also find that gives it a little bit more of a clear flavor, if that makes sense. So sometimes when you get shrimp that has been refrigerated for a while, it loses its briny flavor. When you add a little bit of vinegar to it, you get that nice little pungent flavor back. Okay, let's take a taste. We're good. All right, I'm gonna set this aside. Get some more plastic wrap. All right, here we go. All right, so we're gonna get another tortilla. And again, you could make this as a bowl versus a wrap, but today we're about wraps, so that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna go ahead and get us some of that little lettuce. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. I'm gonna add more of this lettuce right in here like that. I'm gonna add these shrimp on top. Like 10 shrimp or so. And you'll see that the dressing, it doesn't have to sit in the dressing long to pick up the flavor. It happens very quickly. And we're gonna have lots of flavor from that fruit salsa as well. Go ahead and take some of that fruit salsa here. Just spread it across. We have our avocados, our mangoes, our strawberries, our onions in there. Good. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add some of this triple washed spinach in there. So we'll get a little bit of that spinach in there. Again, always trying to bulk up our veggies and still make it taste amazing. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Here we go. And you wanna get as nice and tight as you can get it. So just push it in. Use those fingers. Get it in there, get it in there, get it in there. Eat that leftover piece of spinach. We'll set this aside. And we'll take a look at what that looks like. See how yummy that is. All right, I'll sacrifice myself and take a taste. I like the sweet and salty. The other thing is really good with this is to get some avocado crema. It's delicious. This is avocado cilantro. Just gives it that little extra zhuzh. I love it. Okay, let's move that out of the way. Now, to that, you could certainly add your veggies, your sauteed veggies that we made earlier. But for now, we're gonna use those in a egg wrap. So first, we're gonna take these sauteed veggies, which are fantastic. You can use them with anything. You can use them with rice, you can use them with pasta, you could use it in a wrap by itself. I mean, hundreds of ways you could do this. But for now, we're gonna set those aside and we're just gonna get some egg whites. And we're gonna go ahead and saute up those egg whites and then we'll chop in the veggies. It's gonna be great. I'll be right back. All right, let's get to these eggs. I put the veggies that we already sauteed in the pan with a little bit of butter. So I used Karagold Kraftfed butter. Now I'm gonna add a handful of spinach. We're just gonna get that spinach melting down. And while that is happening, we're gonna crack a couple eggs. I said egg whites, but I'm actually gonna use whole duck eggs. Now, some people might feel weird about duck eggs, but they're very nutritious, and a local farmer has them on his farm, and we get them at the market. My son is allergic to chicken eggs, so for him, I get these duck eggs. And they're great because they're big, really big. All right, we're gonna get, sometimes the shell is hard to crack though. I will say the shell is a lot more challenging. All right, so we're gonna just whip those two up. And again, if you know my trick, you say, how many eggs do I need per pan? We wanna go about 2 inches less in the pan so that we know we have enough for coverage. We're just gonna give those a little mixy mix. Let them cook down. It always cracks me up. You have big things of spinach and you think, oh my gosh, that's a lot. And then you cook it and it gets to be like a tablespoon. All right, get that there. I'm gonna get some cheese. I'm gonna use some Colby Jack cheese. If you don't like cheese, you can leave it out. No big deal. That is the beauty of cooking. You can make it your own. I'm just here to give you ideas and ways to get all those veggies and that protein in there. The rest is up to what you like. But I'm on a mission to get people eating from home and stop going to fast food. Not that you can certainly make it work if you have to, but there's something really special about eating food that you prepared and sitting with your family. It's just amazing how, I don't know how we ever got away from it, to be honest with you. I know we live in such a fast-paced world that sometimes we forget what's important, but some of the best conversations I had when my kids were little were around the table. And I should have known then. My daughter is a voice teacher now, and we had a rule, no singing at the table, because she loved to sing all the time. All right, let's add a little salt and some pepper. Pepper just keeps escaping me today. And we're just gonna move it around. Now look, we don't want it to be dried out. And I don't like slimy eggs. So you gotta make sure that you keep it moving, right? We don't want it to be gross. We want it to be delicious, not overcooked, not undercooked, but just perfect. When you get to this point where it's just starting to look a little more dry, that's when you add your cheese. So I'm just gonna take a slice of this Colby Jack. I'm not a big fan of pre-shredded cheeses because they put all kinds of gunk on it to make it anti-caking agents. So I prefer getting the slices, or if I can, I get the whole block and just slice it and shred it myself. So we'll just keep working that in there until the cheese melts. We'll cover it for a second, which will help it melt faster. We'll get our tortilla and we'll make our last wrap. I hope this gives you some ideas. That's my whole goal. Lots of ideas. All right, where did I put the wraps? Good Lord, this is my problem all the time. Voila. See, got that menopausal brain. You walk one direction to find something and you get there and you think, oh, where did I put it? Oh, what did I come here for? And then I walk back and I think, oh wait, I know what I came here for. And then I come back again. And I repeat this process over and over. All right, so we're gonna take a little bit of this taco seasoning, which does also have some salt, so be gentle, don't have too much of it. But I like it because it gives a little bit more flavor. You could add salsa, there's so many different things you could add to it. It's just, possibilities are endless. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put that right in the center of our tortilla. And by now you know the drill. We wrap it up, wrap and wrap, oh yeah. Now, the good thing is you can make these ahead and you can pop them in your freezer and then just take them out. I like to put them in the air fryer and just crisp them up on the outside and get all that egg back to good. So you definitely can do all that and have it prepared. It'll last in the fridge for a couple of days. Or you can just have the components ready to rock and roll and assemble it very quickly. So it makes a great meal, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, doesn't matter. All of these could be any meal at all. The goal again, get those veggies in there, get that protein in there. We want to have all those good components. So in our wrap that has the vegetarian wrap, we've got our nutritional yeast in our beans for protein. And in our shrimp wrap, obviously we have our shrimp. And then in our egg wrap, we have our eggs and all those good vegetables and some cheese in there. We are good to go. So I hope you've gotten some good ideas. Let me know if there's something that you're struggling with, if there's some ideas that you need. In the meantime, let me know if you'd like to be a guest on the show too. If you've enjoyed the show, please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure that you leave a review, a comment, anything that helps us to get the word out. If you really loved it, make sure that you share it. Thank you. Wish you all love and good health.